Admiral Zara Chen stood on the bridge of the TSS Horizon, humanity's flagship, her dark eyes scanning the unfamiliar star system sprawled before her. After centuries of preparation and a journey that defied the laws of physics as understood by most species, humanity had arrived in Andromeda. "Status report," Chen commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of trillions of lives resting on her shoulders. Lieutenant Kai Rodriguez, his fingers dancing across holographic displays, responded promptly. "All ships accounted for, Admiral. The Nova drive is stable, and we've successfully breached the intergalactic barrier. We're receiving signals from multiple civilizations within range." Chen nodded, a hint of a smile tugging at her lips. "Send out the greeting beacons. Let's introduce ourselves to our new neighbors." As the Terran fleet spread out in a defensive formation, their arrival did not go unnoticed. On the planet Zilvex, home to the technologically advanced Azurians, First Minister Silana stared in disbelief at the images transmitted from their long-range observatory. "Impossible," she whispered, her crystalline form shimmering with anxiety. "No species has ever crossed the void between galaxies. These vessels, they're larger than anything we've ever constructed." Silana's aide, Vrix, analyzed the incoming data. "Minister, we're detecting energy signatures unlike anything in our databases. These beings, wherever they're from, possess technology far beyond our understanding." Across the galaxy, similar scenes unfolded. The warrior clans of Krogana prepared for battle, their blood-red warships scrambling to defensive positions. The peaceful luminary of the celestial expanse reached out with their telepathic abilities, trying to sense the intentions of the newcomers. Back on the TSS Horizon, Admiral Chen prepared to address her fleet, and by extension, the entire human race that had entrusted their future to this monumental expedition. "Men and women of Earth and her colonies," she began, her words transmitted to every ship and stasis pod. "We have achieved what many thought impossible. We have crossed the Great Void and arrived in the Andromeda Galaxy." She paused, letting the magnitude of their accomplishments sink in. "Our mission is clear: to forge a new future for humanity among the stars of this galaxy. We come not as conquerors, but as explorers and potential allies. However, we must be prepared for any reaction to our arrival." As Chen spoke, the first responses to their greeting beacons began to flood in. Some were curious, others fearful, and a few unmistakably hostile. Lieutenant Rodriguez's console lit up with alerts. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from what appears to be a coalition of species. They're requesting a meeting with our leaders." Chen's expression remained impassive, but her mind raced with the implications. This was the moment they had prepared for, the first step towards humanity's new destiny. "Inform them we accept," she said. "Prepare a delegation. It's time to show the Andromeda Galaxy what humanity has to offer." As the Terran fleet held position, emissaries from a dozen alien races converged on a neutral space station at the edge of a contested sector. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see how this unprecedented encounter would unfold. Humanity had arrived, armed with technology that had allowed them to cross the infinite cosmic ocean. Now they faced their greatest challenge yet, finding their place in a galaxy teeming with life, ancient conflicts, and untold wonders. The stage was set for a new era in galactic history, one where the indomitable spirit of humanity would be tested against the vast, unknown expanse of Andromeda. The journey that began on a pale blue dot in a distant galaxy had led them here, to the precipice of a future filled with both peril and promise. As Admiral Chen prepared to meet the alien delegation, she carried with her the hopes and dreams of every human who had ever gazed up at the night sky and wondered what lay beyond. The Terran fleet hung in space, a testament to human ingenuity and determination, ready to face whatever challenges its new galaxy might bring. The story of humanity in Andromeda was about to begin, and the universe would never be the same. High Counselor Zurath, a towering figure with iridescent scales and multifaceted eyes, called the session to order. "Esteemed colleagues, Their resonant voice echoed through the chamber. We face an unprecedented situation. A species from beyond our galaxy has arrived, possessing technology that defies our understanding. Murmurs rippled through the assembly. Fear, curiosity, and ambition mingled in the air like a volatile cocktail. Ambassador Laurel of the Luminary floated forward, her bioluminescent form pulsing gently. "I have touched the minds of these humans," she said, her voice melodic. "They come with hope and determination, but also caution. They seek a new home, new allies, but are prepared for conflict if necessary." Conflict, boomed Warlord Groktar of the Krokana Imperium. His massive fist slammed against the podium. "Let them try. We should strike now, before they can establish a foothold in our galaxy." The chamber erupted in shouts and arguments. Some councillors sided with Groktar, advocating for immediate military action. Others urged caution and diplomatic engagement. Amidst the chaos, First Minister Selana of the Azurians raised her crystalline hand. The chamber fell silent, all eyes turning to the leader of one of the most technologically advanced races in Andromeda. "Fellow councillors," Selana began, her voice calm but firm, "we stand at a crossroads. These humans have achieved what we thought impossible. Their arrival could herald a new age of discovery and progress for our galaxy. Or, if we mishandle this, it could lead to devastating conflict." She paused, letting her words sink in. "I propose we approach them with open minds and open hands. Let us learn from them, and in turn, share our knowledge of Andromeda. Together, we might unlock secrets of the universe we've only dreamed of." The council chamber burst with discussion. Solana's words had struck a chord with many, but others remained skeptical. Meanwhile, aboard the TSS Horizon, Admiral Chen and her delegation prepared for their meeting with the Galactic Council representatives. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the fleet's chief xenobiologist, reviewed her notes on the various alien species they'd encountered so far. "It's incredible, Admiral," Tanaka said, her eyes wide with excitement. "The biodiversity in this galaxy far exceeds our initial estimates. The potential for scientific discovery is unprecedented." Chen nodded, a small smile on her face. "That's why we're here, Doctor. But we must tread carefully. Not everyone will welcome our arrival with open arms." As if on cue, Lieutenant Rodriguez's voice came through the comm system. "Admiral, we're detecting multiple fleets converging on our position. They're keeping their distance, but their weapons are hot." Chen's smile faded. "Understood. Maintain our defensive posture, but do not engage unless fired upon. We're here to make friends, not enemies." Back in the council chamber, the debate raged on. Councillor Vexnar of the Cybernetic Synthet Collective spoke up, his voice a metallic hum. "The humans' technology could revolutionize our society. Imagine the advancements we could make if we combined our knowledge with theirs. Or imagine the weapons they could create," countered Ambassador Kathok of the isolationist Shroud Nebula Confederacy. "We know nothing of their true intentions. They could be scouts for an invasion force." High Councillor Zerath raised their hands, calling for order. "We must reach a decision. The human delegation awaits our response. Do we meet with them in good faith, or do we treat them as a threat to our galactic stability?" The council chamber fell silent as the weight of the decision pressed down on every representative. Centuries of interstellar politics, age-old rivalries, and the shock of this unprecedented arrival all factored into what would be the most important diplomatic decision in Andromedan history. In the tense silence, a new voice spoke up. Councillor Genva of the ancient and usually neutral archivists stepped forward. "Throughout our long history, we have faced moments that defined the course of our galaxy. This is one such moment. The humans have done something we thought impossible. They have bridged the gap between galaxies. We can choose to fear this achievement, or we can embrace it as an opportunity for growth." Genva's words seemed to shift the mood in the chamber. Even some of the more hawkish representatives appeared thoughtful. "I propose," Genva continued, "that we meet the humans with a delegation of our own. Not just diplomats, but scientists, philosophers, and yes, even military strategists. Let us approach them with wisdom, curiosity, and caution in equal measure. High Counselor Zirath nodded slowly. A prudent suggestion. We shall put it to a vote. As the council prepared to make its decision, the fate of two galaxies hung in the balance. Humanity had made its grand entrance onto the Andromedan stage, and now the players were choosing their roles in the unfolding cosmic drama. Admiral Chen stood on the observation deck of the TSS Horizon, gazing at the glittering expanse of their new galactic home. Whatever the council decided, she knew that humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. The stars of Andromeda beckoned, full of promise and peril in equal measure. Humanity had crossed the great void to get here, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The die was cast. The next move belonged to the Galactic Council of Andromeda. As the Galactic Council deliberated, the Terran fleet hung in space, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. At the heart of each massive ship lay the crowning achievement of human science, the Nova Drive. Dr. Ilara Vega, the lead engineer behind the revolutionary propulsion system, stood in the cavernous engine room of the TSS Horizon. Her dark hair was streaked with premature gray, a testament to the years of relentless work that had gone into creating the drive. "Commence diagnostic sequence," she ordered, her voice echoing through the chamber. Around her, a team of engineers sprang into action, their movements precise and practiced. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing a dizzying array of data streams and simulations. Lieutenant Amari Okafor, Ilara's protégé, approached with a datapad. "Dr. Vega, preliminary scans show the drive is functioning at 98.7% efficiency. The intergalactic jump barely taxed its capabilities." Ilara nodded, a hint of pride in her eyes. "Good, but we can do better. The Andromedans will be curious about our technology. We need to be ready to demonstrate its full potential." As they worked, Ilara's mind drifted back to the early days of the Nova Drive project. It had started as a desperate gamble, a last-ditch effort to save humanity from a dying Earth and an overcrowded solar system. The theory behind it had been considered impossible by most: to harness the power of artificial quantum singularities, creating localized space-time distortions that could propel a ship across vast cosmic distances. The first prototypes had been disasters. Entire research stations had vanished, presumed destroyed. But with each failure, they learned, refined, and pushed forward. It was humanity's relentless spirit, the refusal to accept defeat, that had finally cracked the code. Now, as Ilara ran her hand along the cool metal casing of the drive, she marveled at how far they had come. The Nova Drive didn't just move ships through space, it rewrote the very laws of physics around them. Back on the bridge, Admiral Chen received a transmission from the Galactic Council. "They've agreed to a meeting," she informed her senior staff. "But they're requesting a demonstration of our technology as a show of good faith." Captain Marcus Donovan, Chen's tactical officer, frowned. "Is that wise, Admiral? The Nova Drive is our greatest advantage, if they understand how it works." Chen cut him off with a raised hand. "They're already scanning our ships, Captain. We can either control the narrative or let them draw their own conclusions." "Dr. Vega," she turned to the engineer, who had just entered the bridge, "prepare a demonstration. Something impressive, but not revealing all our cards." Ilara nodded, her mind already racing with possibilities. "I have just the thing, Admiral." As the Terran delegation prepared for their meeting, word of the Nova Drive's capabilities spread through Andromedan space like wildfire. Speculation ran rampant, with some claiming it was a weapon capable of destroying entire star systems, while others saw it as the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe. On the planet Zilvex, First Minister Selana convened an emergency meeting of the Azurian Science Council. "We must understand this technology," she insisted. "Our entire understanding of physics may need to be rewritten." Meanwhile, in the shadowy corridors of power, other forces were moving. The Shroud Nebula Confederacy, long isolationist and xenophobic, saw the humans' arrival as an existential threat. Ambassador Kerfok met in secret with representatives from other hawkish factions. "We cannot allow these outsiders to upset the balance of power," Kerfok hissed. "Their technology must be seized or destroyed before it's too late." Unaware of the plots forming against them, the human delegation prepared for their demonstration. Ilara and her team worked tirelessly, pushing the Nova Drive to its limits. The day of the demonstration arrived. A select group of Androndan scientists and leaders gathered on a space station at the edge of a nebula, eager to witness the humans' technological marvel. Admiral Chen addressed the assembled aliens, her voice calm and assured. "Honored representatives of Andromeda, we come in peace and with an offer of friendship. What you are about to witness is a fraction of what our Nova Drive technology can achieve. We hope this demonstration will open the door to cooperation and mutual understanding between our peoples." With a nod from Chen, Ilara initiated the sequence. The TSS Horizon's engines flared to life, a brilliant blue glow enveloping the massive ship. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, in the blink of an eye, the ship vanished. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the Andromedan observers. Some reached for weapons, fearing a trick. Others stood in awe, their many eyes wide with wonder. Seconds ticked by. The murmurs grew louder. Had something gone wrong? Suddenly, space itself seemed to fold. The TSS Horizon reappeared, not where it had been, but on the far side of the nebula, a journey that should have taken weeks accomplished in mere seconds. The Andromedan delegation erupted in a cacophony of excited chatter, tentacles waving and appendages gesticulating wildly. Even the most skeptical among them couldn't deny the implications of what they had just witnessed. As the TSS Horizon returned to its original position, Ilara allowed herself a small smile. The Nova Drive had performed flawlessly, showcasing humanity's ability to rewrite the rules of the cosmos itself. But as the excitement of the demonstration faded, tensions began to simmer. Some Andromedan factions saw the Nova Drive as a promise of a new age of exploration and discovery. Others saw it as a threat, a weapon that could upset millennia of carefully maintained power structures. Admiral Chen, watching the reactions of the alien delegates, knew that humanity's path in this new galaxy would not be an easy one. They had crossed the vast emptiness between galaxies, but navigating the complex web of Andromedan politics and interests might prove to be an even greater challenge. As the human delegation prepared to enter formal negotiations with the Galactic Council, the Nova Drive hummed quietly in the background, a symbol of humanity's potential to shape the very fabric of the universe. The die had been cast. For better or worse, the arrival of humans and their miraculous technology had set in motion events that would reshape the future of Andromeda forever. The real test was just beginning. As the dust settled from the Nova Drive demonstration, a new tension gripped the Andromeda galaxy. The human delegation, led by Admiral Chen, had barely begun their formal negotiations with the Galactic Council when alarms blared across every sensor array in the sector. High Counselor Zeraf's multifaceted eyes widened in horror as they processed the incoming data. "Impossible," they whispered, their usual composure shattered. Admiral Chen leaned forward, her instincts honed by years of command kicking in. "What's happening?" Zeraf's voice trembled as they responded, "The Exaraxians. They've returned." A hush fell over the council chamber as the name hung in the air like a death sentence. Even the most hawkish representatives seemed to shrink back in fear. "I don't understand," Chen said, her eyes narrowing. "Who are the Exaraxians?" It was Yenva of the Archivists who answered, that ancient voice heavy with dread. "The Exaraxians are a scourge upon our galaxy, Admiral. A race of conquerors so terrible that all other conflicts pale in comparison. They emerge from the galactic core every few millennia, laying waste to everything in their path." Holographic displays sprang to life, showing a massive swarm of ships pouring out from the center of the galaxy. Their designs were organic, almost insectoid, with sharp angles and pulsing energy signatures that defied analysis. The last Azuraxian incursion nearly destroyed our civilization, Selana of the Azurians added, her crystalline form shimmering with anxiety. It took the combined might of every spacefaring race to drive them back, and the cost was unimaginable. Chen's mind raced, quickly grasping the gravity of the situation. How long do we have before they reach populated systems? Days at most, Zareth replied. Our long-range sensors only just detected them. They must have developed some kind of cloaking technology. The council chamber erupted into chaos. Some representatives called for immediate evacuation, others for a preemptive strike. A few simply sat in stunned silence, the weight of impending doom crushing their spirits. Amidst the pandemonium, Chen's voice cut through the noise like a laser. We'll help you fight them. The chamber fell silent, all eyes turning to the human admiral. Admiral Chen, Warlord Groktar rumbled, a mix of suspicion and desperate hope in his voice. You don't understand the scale of the threat. The Xeraxians are unlike anything you've ever faced. Chen's eyes flashed with determination. Perhaps, but neither are we. She turned to address the entire council. You've seen what our Nova Drive can do. That's just the beginning of what humanity has to offer. We didn't cross the void between galaxies to sit idly by while our new home is threatened. As if to underscore her words, alarms blared from the human delegation's communicators. Lieutenant Rodriguez's voice came through, tense but controlled. Admiral, we're detecting a separate Xeraxian fleet on a direct course for our position. They'll be here within hours. A ripple of fear passed through the council chamber. The Xeraxians had never moved this fast before, never split their forces. What had changed? Chen's response was immediate. Scramble the fleet. All ships to battle stations. She turned back to the council. We're about to have our first encounter with your old enemy. I suggest you prepare your forces as well. As the council raced to mobilize their defensive fleets, the human ships moved into formation with a speed and precision that left the Andromedans in awe. The massive world ships that had seemed so peaceful now bristled with weapon systems previously hidden beneath their sleek hulls. Aboard the TSS Horizon, Chen strode onto the bridge, her uniform pristine, her expression resolute. Status report, she barked. Captain Donovan responded crisply. All ships reporting ready, Admiral. Weapon systems online, Nova drives primed for tactical maneuvers. Dr. Elara Vega's voice came over the comm. Admiral, we've adapted the Nova drive for combat operations. We can use it to outmaneuver the enemy, but each jump will put immense strain on the systems. Use them wisely. Chen nodded. Understood, Doctor. Your team has worked miracles. Let's hope it's enough. As the human fleet prepared for battle, the Andromedan forces scrambled to join them. Ships of all sizes and configurations fell into formation alongside the Terran vessels, an impromptu alliance born of desperate necessity. In the distance, the first wave of the Xeraxian fleet appeared. Their ships were monstrous, defying conventional design. Tendrils of dark energy passed between them, and their hulls seemed to shift and writhe as if alive. By the cosmic core, breathed Kailana, watching from the council chamber. They've evolved, grown stronger. Admiral Chen's voice rang out across all frequencies, addressing the combined human and Andromedan fleet. This is Admiral Zara Chen of the Terran fleet. We face an enemy unlike any we've encountered before, but we do not face them alone. Today we stand united, humans and Andromedans together, against a threat to all sentient life. She paused, her words hanging in the vacuum of space. We may come from different worlds, different galaxies, but in this moment, we share a common purpose. To protect our homes, our families, our very way of life. The Xeraxians think they face a divided galaxy, ripe for conquest. Let's show them how wrong they are. A chorus of affirmations echoed across the comm channels in 100 alien languages. Ships of all shapes and sizes moved into attack formation, weapons charging, shields raised. As the Xyraxian fleet drew closer, energy weapons bristling across their biomechanical hulls, Admiral Chen gave the order that would echo across the stars. All ships engage. The void of space erupted in a symphony of destruction as the battle for Andromeda began. Humanity's first war in their new home had arrived, and the fate of two galaxies hung in the balance. The Xyraxians surged forward, their ships moving with an eerie, synchronized grace. But the combined human Andromedan fleet held firm, their disparate technologies and tactics forming an unexpectedly formidable defense. Nova Drive-equipped ships blinked in and out of existence, appearing behind enemy lines to deliver devastating blows before vanishing again. Azurian crystal ships refracted energy weapons, turning the Xyraxians' own firepower against them. Krogna warships plowed through the enemy formation, their ancient hulls scared but unyielding. As the battle raged, Admiral Chen realized this was more than just a fight for survival. It was humanity's baptism by fire in their new galaxy, a chance to prove their worth not as conquerors, but as protectors and allies. The stars themselves seemed to tremble as the fate of Andromeda hung in the balance, with humanity standing at the forefront of the galaxy's defense. The battle against the Xyraxians raged across the stars, a chaotic dance of destruction and survival. Admiral Chen's strategy of using the Nova Drive for hit-and-run tactics had thrown the enemy into disarray, but the sheer number of Xyraxian ships threatened to overwhelm the combined human Andromedan fleet. On the bridge of the TSS Horizon, Chen watched the holographic battle map with intense focus. "We need to coordinate better with our allies," she muttered. "Lieutenant Rodriguez, open a channel to the Andromedan flagship." The face of High Counselor Zirath appeared on the main screen, their iridescent scales dulled with stress. "Admiral Chen, the situation is dire. The Xyraxians are pushing through our eastern flank." Chen nodded grimly. "I see it. Counselor, we need to combine our strengths more effectively. My ships can outmaneuver the enemy, but we lack the firepower to deal decisive blows." Zirath's multifaceted eyes blinked in rapid succession, a sign of deep thought. "What do you propose, Admiral?" "A joint strike force," Chen replied without hesitation. "My ships equipped with Nova Drives, paired with your heaviest battleships. We jump in, unleash hell, and jump out before they can retaliate." There was a moment of silence as Zirath considered the proposal. The idea of allowing aliens, newcomers to the galaxy, no less, to transport Andromedan ships using untested technology was almost unthinkable. But desperate times called for desperate measures. "Agreed," Zirath said finally. "I'll coordinate with the Krogna and Azurian fleets. Stand by for rendezvous coordinates." As the Joint Strike Force assembled, Dr. Ilara Vega worked feverishly in the engine room of the TSS Horizon. "We're pushing the Nova Drives beyond their intended limits," she reported to Chen. "I can't guarantee how long they'll hold up under these conditions." "Do what you can, Doctor," Chen replied. "We'll deal with the consequences later, if there is a later." The strike force moved into position. Human ships linked up with massive Krogna dreadnoughts and sleek Azurian crystal ships. It was an awe-inspiring sight, the best of two galaxies united against a common foe. "All ships, prepare for jump," Chen ordered. "On my mark, execute." Space itself seemed to fold as the Nova Drives activated. In an instant, the strike force vanished from their defensive line and reappeared in the heart of the Xyraxian formation. The effect was devastating. Caught off guard, the Xyraxians had no time to raise their defenses. Krogna warships unleashed barrages of plasma torpedoes, while Azurian crystal ships focused the energy of nearby stars into searing beams of destruction. Human vessels darted between enemy ships, their advanced targeting systems finding weak points and exploiting them with surgical precision. For a moment, it seemed like the tide of battle had turned, but the Xyraxians were not so easily defeated. Their ships began to adapt, organic hulls shifting to absorb energy attacks, tentacle-like appendages lashing out to ensnare smaller vessels. "They're learning," Captain Donovan warned. "Each attack is less effective than the last." Chen gritted her teeth. They needed a game-changer, something its Araxians couldn't adapt to. Her eyes fell on the holographic representation of a nearby star system. An idea formed, brilliant, desperate, and terrifyingly risky. "Dr. Vega," she called over the comm, "I need options. Can we use the Nova Drive to manipulate gravity on a larger scale?" There was a pause before Ilara's voice came back, a mix of excitement and apprehension in her tone. "Theoretically, yes, but the energy requirements would be enormous, and the consequences, unpredictable." "Theoretically is good enough," Chen said. "Get it done." As Ilara and her team worked to modify the Nova Drive, the battle continued to rage. The Joint Strike Force jumped in and out of the fray, keeping its Araxians off balance, but unable to land a decisive blow. In the Galactic Council chamber, now converted into a war room, representatives from dozens of species watched the battle unfold with a mix of hope and dread. First Minister Xelana of the Azurians turned to Genva of the Archivists. "In all our history," she said softly, "I've never seen anything like this. The humans fight with a ferocity I thought impossible, yet they coordinate with our forces as if we've trained together for years." Genva nodded slowly. Perhaps this is why they were able to cross the galactic void. Their adaptability, their drive to overcome impossible odds, it's unlike anything we've encountered. On the TSS horizon, Ilara's voice crackled over the comm. "Admiral, we're ready, but I must warn you, this is untested technology. The risks are—" "Understood, Doctor," Chen cut her off. "But right now, the greatest risk is doing nothing." She took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. "All Andromedan ships, clear the target area. This is going to get rough." The human fleet moved into position around a massive gas giant on the edge of the battlefield. At Chen's command, they activated their modified Nova Drives simultaneously. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly at first, but with gathering speed, the gas giant began to compress. The Xaraxian fleet, drawn by the sudden gravitational shift, found themselves being pulled towards the collapsing planet. By the cosmic core, Zerath breathed, watching from their flagship. They're creating a black hole. The gas giant collapsed in on itself, forming a swirling vortex of unimaginable power. Xaraxian ships, caught in its gravitational pull, were torn apart and swallowed by the newly formed black hole. But the human fleet wasn't unscathed. Several ships, their Nova Drives overloaded by the immense energy requirements, blinked out of existence. Others were caught in the edge of the gravitational well, their hulls groaning under the strain. "All ships, full reverse," Chen ordered, her voice steady despite the chaos unfolding around them. Andromedan allies, tracked her in any damaged vessels. As the surviving ships retreated to a safe distance, the full impact of what had just occurred began to sink in. Nearly half of the Xaraxian fleet had been destroyed or incapacitated in a single audacious move. The remaining Xaraxian ships, perhaps realizing for the first time that they faced an enemy beyond their ability to adapt to, began to retreat. Their synchronized movements became erratic, their formation breaking apart as they fled towards the galactic core. A cheer went up across the human Andromedan fleet. Ships of all designs flashed their running lights in celebration, and comm channels erupted with jubilant cries in 100 different languages. But Admiral Chen didn't join in the celebration. Her eyes were fixed on the swirling vortex they had created, a new, unpredictable factor in the cosmic balance. And beyond that, to the stars where the Xaraxians had retreated. This battle was won, but she knew, deep in her bones, that the war was far from over. As the fleet regrouped, Chen opened a channel to the Galactic Council. "High Counselor Zerath, the immediate threat has been neutralized, but we've opened a Pandora's box here. We'll need to work together more closely than ever to face what comes next." Zerath's response was solemn. "Indeed, Admiral Chen. Today, You have proven beyond doubt that humanity belongs among the stars of Andromeda. Whatever challenges we will face them together." As the human and Andromedan ships limped back to friendly space, the survivors of this first great battle knew that they had witnessed the dawn of a new era. Humanity had arrived in Andromeda not as conquerors, but as saviors, and in doing so, they had forever altered the fate of two galaxies. The alliance forged in the heated battle would be tested in the days to come, but for now, as the stars twinkled in the vast expanse of space, there was hope. Hope for a future where the combined strength of humanity and the people of Andromeda could overcome any obstacle, no matter how dire. The Xeraxians had been driven back, but this was only the beginning. The real challenge lay ahead, building a lasting peace in a galaxy forever changed by the arrival of humanity. In the weeks following the decisive battle against the Xeraxians, an uneasy calm settled over the Andromeda galaxy. The combined human Andromedan fleet had achieved a significant victory, but at a great cost. Countless lives had been lost, ships destroyed, and the very fabric of space had been altered by the creation of an artificial black hole. Admiral Zara Chen stood before the Galactic Council, her uniform bearing the scars of recent battles. The chamber, once filled with skepticism and fear towards the human newcomers, now hummed with a newfound respect and cautious optimism. "Honored representatives of Andromeda," Chen began, her voice carrying the weight of recent events, "we've won a battle, but the war is far from over. Our victory has only driven its Xeraxians back to the galactic core. They will regroup, adapt, and return." High Counselor Zirath nodded gravely. "Admiral Chen speaks the truth. The Xeraxians have always been resilient, but never before have they retreated so quickly. Humanity's Nova-Drive technology and tactical prowess have given us a chance we've never had before." First Minister Xelana of the Azurians stepped forward, her crystalline form shimmering with determination. "We must seize this opportunity. For too long, we've been content to simply drive the Xeraxians back when they emerge. It's time we take the fight to them." A murmur of agreement rippled through the chamber. Even the once hawkish warlord Groptar of the Krokana nodded his massive head in approval. "A joint expedition," Chen proposed, her eyes scanning the assembled representatives. "A fleet comprised of the best ships and crews from every willing species, led by a council representing all our peoples. We'll journey to the galactic core, find the Xeraxian homeworld, and end this threat once and for all." The council chamber erupted in a flurry of discussion. The idea was audacious, unprecedented. Never before had the species of Andromeda united in such a way. As the debate raged, Dr. Elara Vega entered the chamber, her face bearing the signs of sleepless nights spent refining the Nova Drive. She whispered urgently to Admiral Chen, who listened with growing concern. Chen raised her hand, silencing the chamber. "Esteemed colleagues, we have a new development. Dr. Vega, please share your findings." Pilara stepped forward, her voice steady despite the gravity of her news. "Our long-range sensors, enhanced by Azurian crystalline technology, have detected massive energy signatures from the galactic core. The Xeraxians aren't just regrouping, they're gathering a fleet unlike anything we've ever seen. At their current rate of assembly, they'll be ready to launch a full-scale invasion of the entire galaxy within a standard solar year." The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. This wasn't just another cyclical emergence of the Xeraxians. It was an extinction-level event in the making. Zenva of the Archivists, that ancient voice quavering, spoke up. "In all our recorded history, we've never faced a threat of this magnitude. If we do not act, and act decisively, there may not be a galaxy left to save." Admiral Chen's voice cut through the growing panic. "Then we have no choice. We must launch our expedition immediately. Every moment we delay gives the enemy more time to prepare." The next few days were a whirlwind of activity. Ships from every corner of the galaxy converged on the staging area near the artificial black hole created in the previous battle. The diversity of the assembled fleet was staggering, From massive human world ships to agile Azurian crystal ships, from Krogana battle cruisers to luminary psionic vessels. At the heart of this armada was the TSS Nova, a new flagship built in record time, incorporating the best of human and Andromedan technology. Its hull gleamed with Azurian crystals, its weapons systems were enhanced by Krogana martial knowledge, and at its core pulsed the most advanced Nova drive ever constructed. As the fleet made final preparations, Admiral Chen stood on the bridge of the TSS Nova, surveying the assembled ships. Captain Marcus Donovan, now her second-in-command for the expedition, approached with a datapad. "Final checks complete, Admiral," he reported. "All ships report ready. We're just awaiting your command." Chen nodded, a mix of determination and apprehension in her eyes. "Send the signal. It's time." Across the fleet, crews of 100 different species took their positions. In the engine room of the TSS Nova, Dr. Ilara Vega initiated the startup sequence for the Nova drive, its hum resonating through the ship like a heartbeat. Admiral Chen opened a channel to the entire fleet, her words translated instantly into every language represented among the crews. "Soldiers, scientists, explorers, heroes of Andromeda," she began, her voice firm and resolute. "Today, we embark on the most important journey in the history of our galaxy. We go to face an enemy that has plagued this galaxy for eons, an enemy that would see all of us wiped from existence." She paused, letting her words sink in. "But we do not go as separate species, divided by our differences. We go as one people, united in our diversity, stronger together than we ever were apart. Humanity may have been the catalyst for this union, but every being in this fleet, human and Andromedan alike, is equally vital to our success." The comm channels crackled with cheers and affirmations in a cacophony of alien languages. "The road ahead will be difficult," Chen continued. "We face dangers unknown, sacrifices unimaginable. But we face them together, for the future of not just one species or one planet, but for every sentient being in Andromeda." She took a deep breath, her final words ringing out across the vastness of space. "To all ships, prepare for Nova Jump. Our destination, the Galactic core. Our mission, the freedom of Andromeda. May the stars guide us to victory." With a brilliant flash of energy, the Nova drive engaged. The fabric of space-time bent and folded around the fleet as they made the jump towards the heart of the galaxy, towards the lair of the Xeraxians. As the stars streaked by, Admiral Chen couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought them to this point. Humanity had crossed the void between galaxies seeking a new home, a new beginning. Instead, they had found a galaxy in peril, and in rising to meet that challenge, they had forged connections and alliances beyond anything they could have imagined. The battle for Galaxy's Edge, for the very future of Andromeda, had begun, and as the combined fleet of humans and Andromedans raced towards their destiny, one thing was certain: whatever the outcome, the galaxy would never be the same again. The story of humanity in Andromeda was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. As the fleet vanished into the depths of space, the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath, waiting to see what this unprecedented alliance would achieve. The fate of two galaxies hung in the balance, with humanity standing tall among the defenders of their new home. The Xeraxians awaited, but so did the stuff of legends. In the crucible of this ultimate battle, heroes would rise, sacrifices would be made, and the course of galactic history would be forever altered. The humans had arrived in Andromeda as strangers, but they would face this challenge as family, one people united across the stars.